So Bitcoin hit a new all-time high last week, and someone on the internet asked, could we just buy the moon? And honestly, that's exactly the kind of ridiculous question we love around here. So let's figure it out. First things first, how much Bitcoin are we talking about? As of right now, all the Bitcoin in existence is worth around $2 trillion. That's a lot of money. Like, you could buy every Starbucks on Earth and still have change left over. But the moon? That's a whole different beast. Here's the problem. Nobody actually owns the moon. Thanks to the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, no country or person can claim it. So technically, you can't buy it because there's no one to sell it to you. But let's ignore international law for a second, because where's the fun in following rules, and pretend the moon is for sale. So, what's the moon worth? Well, it's basically a giant rock floating in space, right? If we treat it like real estate, we need to calculate its value. The moon has a surface area of about 38 million square kilometers. For comparison, that's roughly the size of Africa. Now, desert land on Earth goes for maybe a few $100 per square kilometer. Let's be generous and say moon land is worth $1,000 per square kilometer, because, it's the moon. That gives us a price tag of $38 billion. Wait, $2 trillion in Bitcoin versus $38 billion for the moon? We could buy the moon 50 times over. We'd have enough left to throw in Mars, a few asteroids, and maybe Jupiter's moons as a combo deal. But hold on, let's think bigger. What if we valued the moon not as empty land, but for its resources? Scientists estimate there are millions of tons of helium-3 on the moon, a potential fuel for future fusion reactors. There's also platinum, rare earth metals, and who knows what else buried under the surface. Some estimates put the moon's total resource value at over $100 quadrillion. Suddenly, our $2 trillion in Bitcoin looks like pocket change. We couldn't even afford a single crater. But here's where it gets weird. Let's say we actually succeed. We gather all the Bitcoin, convert it to cash, and somehow convince the universe to let us buy the moon. What happens next? Well, for starters, you'd own roughly 1% of all the mass in the Earth-Moon system. That's a pretty solid flex. You could charge rent to every space agency that wants to land there. NASA's next Artemis mission? That'll be $50 million, please. You could even start selling moon rocks as NFTs, because why not double down on crypto nonsense? But here's the thing. Owning the moon wouldn't just make you the coolest person alive, it would make you incredibly powerful. The moon controls Earth's tides, stabilizes our axis, and keeps our climate relatively predictable. If you wanted to, you could theoretically hold the entire planet hostage. Pay up or I'll destabilize your orbit. It's supervillain stuff, honestly. Of course, in reality, the international community would probably just ignore your purchase, call it illegitimate, and carry on as usual. You'd be the person who spent $2 trillion on a piece of paper that says, "I own the moon," while astronauts keep planting flags up there anyway. So, could Bitcoin buy the moon? On paper, maybe. In reality, absolutely not. But hey, it's fun to imagine. And who knows, maybe in 100 years we'll look back at this video and laugh because someone actually tried it. If you enjoyed this cosmic thought experiment, hit that like button, drop a comment with your own wild what-if question, and subscribe for more scenarios that make you go, wait, really? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.